I mean, basically City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. These three are basically in a proper title race. For the rest of them, it's just kneeling down a spot to finish, like our overall ranks, even they're fighting. So how was Gaming 30, Sankar?
Went okay. I had five players in the City Arsenal game, and that included only one defender, right? So could not speak much. Gabriel thankfully gave me 6 points. Saka, Odegaard, Foden, three attackers giving me clean sheet points. 3 point each. So I think it went up to 49 or something. Don't have Palmer as well, so and it did not have Salah as well, right? So that Sun last minute goal, it really helped. Else, I think it would have been a screwed up game. The 20 pointer really saved my week. But good FPL challenge, right? We spoke a lot about FPL challenge last time, and I think it was a good start there at least, and something to look forward to.
Yeah, I mean, Gaming 30 kind of went more or less according to plan. We expected Cole Palmer to do something. He did. Son managed to do something right at the end. And we were scared of Mo Salah. Things were going well. All of a sudden, he just, got the points as expected. And other than that, the only other thing that went against us was probably Watkins. He planked his one thing, but it's like things were already put in place. Like we were looking, and I was looking to ship Watkins out. And last week you were justifying that ignoring City, they play. I mean Brentford and Bournemouth, but
Yeah,
looks like no.
he's injured,
Plan
I
was already
guess.
made.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
he's
plan was
injured.
already made.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Anyways, with that being said, let's quickly look at what we're going to talk. We basically look at the trends in brief, cover up the challenge, our drafts. We look at Game Week 31, brief a bit, talk on the fixtures and the players to pick, a wildcard draft that I made. And last but not the least, we'll discuss not our first teams, but our final teams at this point. It's just barely a few hours away from the deadline.
Yep.
All right. So yes, the trends. This is basically a screen grab from the website. I think barely 2 hours back is what I took it off, and we see Alexander Isak right on top, followed by Salah, Darwin Palmer, and Ben White is surprising there. And outs are pretty much straightforward. Watkins is injured, Ariel is injured, Gordon is suspended, Walker is also injured, and Madison is people just clearing out their team at this point. Some interesting names right there. I think the only interesting name for me is Ben White. A lot of people are going for Ben White and not maybe Mahrez to cut cost.
I think his couple of assists, right? The match before City, I think it was the Brentford match, right, where he gave two assists. So he must be very high. He must be coming out very high on form, right? And people look at the form factor and buy players. So not a bad shout, but I mean, if you can save money, you can save money, right? So I'm a huge Gabriel Magalhaes fan for this season, and he's been on my team since a really long, long time. And Ben White is a good player, and he can give you those assists. I think, especially with Kuyor starting, they both have started overlapping a lot, and that has given Ben White a lot of freedom. But I'm not really sure what happens this week because I just have a feeling that Zinchenko will be brought in because Luton are a very deep defensive team, and to break them, they will want an additional playmaker, and Zinchenko plays that role for us. I just have that feeling if Zinchenko comes in, then Ben White is left playing that a bit further back fullback role. He'll not be as attacking as we generally see him, and that might hurt. But still, he's a great shout. I mean, long term player.
Yeah, but the only thing for me, I mean, I did see that pairing the last game, he got 11 and 13 pointer. So I think that's the reason people are going for it. But yeah,
Yeah,
5.8 is a bit steep, right? For it.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's the only thing.
Yeah, for someone who does is not necessarily very attacking in nature, I think it is steep, and especially people are now started looking at Square as an alternative as well. Given his price, right? So there's a lot of bias there. I'm surprised to see him fifth in the list, but I think people are now realizing that hey, Arsenal defense is something you can just take and sleep on it.
All right. So the other names are pretty much straightforward. We are having Isaac after his fall, and they have very favorable run of games. Salah is no brainer. Double in 34, Darwin same. Fixtures are good. Double Palmer again. I mean, he's too good for that value. He brings in, and I think it's Ben White and the outs we did discuss upon. So that's the trends. Obviously, fantasy challenge. Let's just wrap it up right away now. And here's your draft or your final team. A little bit interesting, but it looks like you're making the right decisions. So let's leave it up to you.
So I mean, I'm having fun, right? That's the only point of playing this challenge. I have to change my captain here because this is the week the strikers play double, get the double points, right? So you have to go heavy on strikers. That's the reason I've continued with three strikers. I've gone for Darwin, Isaac, and I've taken Alvarez. Somehow looking at KDB, it felt like KDB was not exactly looking that fit, and he played entire 90 minutes. So I have a feeling that we will see someone like uh, you'll see someone like Alvarez coming in and taking that mantle again, and that's the reason I want to pick him rather than Haaland, and this allows me to go with a midfield like this where Saka, Odegaard, double Arsenal midfield, Salah and Bowen. Given Watkins is now injured, I have gone for a double City defense just for fun because you won't do it in FPL, right? So why not? And Gabriel remains my defender at the back. And Neto again. Neto is a player that I have missed out on the FPL side. I think he's given a good side of points, right? And that's the reason I have Neto in the team.
All right, I see something in the chat saying, I don't know, start Shloop or Salah. If I don't know for what this is. If it's for normal, the default FPL game, then
Yeah, even
it's
if
a
it's
go for
FPL challenge, I mean it's Salah.
yeah. I mean,
And
if you bench Salah here, you won't be able to get him on in case he plays. So once they're locked, you can make those changes. So
yeah, yeah. To be honest, I've not gone through the rules completely, right? I have a friend who asked me, what are the rules? What are the substitutions? I said, I have no idea. I just created a draft and I played with the first draft that was available, and I plan to do the same. I've not got the time to actually go through the rules in detail, right? So I don't know. Maybe he's asking around some loophole, starts club and then maybe take Salah in, but
if Shloop doesn't play at all a minute, then I
uh,
think it's
you get a
possible.
chance.
But
Okay,
if he plays, yeah, otherwise it's locked.
might take a risk.
Anyways, this is my team, and yeah, as you said, my captaincy is on Salah, and it's a little bit. This team is more or less like my FBN team. It's almost I've mirrored the same way I play. I mean, pretty much favorable fixture for Liverpool, so I have double Liverpool defense followed with Males and Semedo, Palmer, Son, Saka, Salah, Haaland, Wood, and Isaac, and that's it. Nothing else special.
So who's your captain?
Anyways,
I think you will have to change your captain, right? You have to put it on one of the forwards. Haaland, is it?
yeah, uh,
Wood
I, I,
might I
I'm not
suggest
looking
some
at
wood.
Wood. No, no, it's between Isaac and Haaland, but I'm
Okay.
not sure. I mean, if I have to play someone else up front, I might have to downgrade Son, which I'm not looking to do. I think he's pretty much going to score a game or do something. So,
And I see you have gone for Palmer ahead of Garnacho.
in case if they get a penalty, that's it, nothing else.
Okay. I
I
I
mean,
have Palmer, right, left on the bench. I feel like United will may not defeat Chelsea, but I think they will sit back and see out the attacking threat of Palmer. Is my thought currently.
okay, I think let's discuss on that, right? That game.
Yeah.
So we've come up right up to game week 31 fixtures, and obviously we have the deadline in some time, and it's a midweek deadline, game week deadline, and a lot of interesting, favorable games we have in terms of FPL. Obviously, Newcastle against Everton, Forest, Fulham, Bournemouth, Palace, Burnley. I mean, all the games, right today are going to be like important games for all the teams because some of them are really struggling for survival. Some of them need points to finish. the top half, finishing European qualifications and all other things. So a lot of interesting games here, and we have a lot of prominent players playing. Obviously, Isaac and the others here. And Forest Fulham is basically vote against Muniz. I think two informed forwards at the moment. Bournemouth Palace, people are looking at Solanke again as well. Burnley Wolves, a little bit of Wolves defense is on the radar for most of the managers. West Ham Spurs, I mean, we have Pawan Antonio, Kudus, Paqueta, Sun, Poro, Udogi. There's so many names, so many big names playing that game. I mean, any of the fixtures that you're looking at, the ones that are going to be played today?
I will be interested to see, how Burnley Wolves play out. I think there's a good set of points there. Unfortunately, Neto is not playing. I think Huang might be playing, right? Have you seen the news? Is Huang playing?
Uh, I've not seen about Mikey Chan yet.
I think
Just double check on that.
yeah,
I
I think
think they say that he's back. He's back. I mean, he was doing training. That's what's the last thing I saw. I've not seen the exact last
Hmm.
quote that came out.
So I think he can be a very interesting,
So
choice,
they are saying
especially with challenge.
6 to 8 weeks is what is I can see on Premier injuries. I can't see any other update there. I might have to check something else. But meanwhile, you can go on. You can speak on other things.
Yeah, and apart from that, I think I'm more looking forward to tomorrow's matches than today's. Newcastle Everton, I think, is going to be a prime time show for today. What a match, right? You saw last match of Newcastle, 4-3 winner.
Crazy game.
Crazy game. I'm the 3-1 down at one point of time, and I switched it on. I think when they were 3-2 down, right, and saw the last two goals. Barnes is someone I was really looking forward to in Newcastle. I thought he'll do well, but unfortunately, he was injured the entire time. And good to see him. I mean, it's typical Barnes. He can create something out of. He's normally a very good finisher. I really like Barnes and his finishing, and he just took it so well.
Yeah. Many of the FPL managers will obviously look at him at this point. He's 6.2 and Gordon suspended. But more or less, he's going to be part of the front attack. So, going to be interesting to have him backfield. Okay, that's for today and tomorrow. I mean, I should say the remaining few games. We have Arsenal, Luton, City, Villa. I mean, City did lose the previous reverse fixture. Liverpool, Sheffield, Chelsea, and Man United. I mean, I think for Arsenal, it's pretty much a must-win game, and I'm pretty sure they will.
Every
Might be
game
a
for
cakewalk for them.
I think for the
Yeah,
top three, every game now on is a must
it's a
win.
must-win.
You drop
Whoever
points,
slips
you
up
are
is gone.
almost out. Yeah, exactly. So, and you know that City are not going to slip up, right? They're extremely pissed with the draw, and they're looking to try and win every match because that's the only way they have a chance, right? And that means there's a pressure on Liverpool and Arsenal to win all their games. That's it, right? So,
But the issues that with City dropping points is more or less they are relying
exactly,
on or depending on other teams to steal points from the other two
exactly.
contenders now.
Yeah.
So
So
once you slip up, it's gone.
yeah,
It's difficult.
they have no other option. They have to win all the games, and they are going to do that. Is what I understand, right? So it's just that whether Liverpool and Arsenal can continue setting that pace. Right? Liverpool have really surprised me, to be honest. I mean, they have played good football, but there are a lot of games where I don't think they have been at their best, but they have always got results through. Even the Brighton game, but I only saw the second half of Liverpool Brighton, and I was very surprised to see the build up that Liverpool started with. At some point of time, I was thinking that Liverpool is playing like Brighton and Brighton is playing like Liverpool. So very clean build
I
ups.
think probably it was an audition game for the AFP. I don't know. Not sure. We'll see who will go.
Yeah. But I think there's a lot of points in Liverpool Sheffield match. Right? There are a lot of people with Darwin, and I have Darwin in my FPL challenge. I just captained him now on FPL challenge, just for the fun side of things. But let's see how things go.
And obviously, I think probably the game of this game week is Chelsea against Man United at Stamford Bridge, and I think it's like as people labeled it on Twitter and all, it's a game of unfortunately two off-pace joker teams playing.
I was
But it's
feeling
lot
it.
at stake. It's lot
Yeah,
at stake for both the
without.
teams.
Yeah, especially United. I think you guys still have a chance for sneaking into the top four position, right? It's not a lot of points. It's 8 points. I mean, it's high, but Spurs do have City, Arsenal remaining, right? And even Liverpool, I think they have all the three remaining, right? So chance is there for United to sneak in, and Chelsea don't look solid at all, right? But a 10-man Burnley team, went back and kept, you know, leveling with them. So it's not good. And I feel like Ten Hag has a possibility. Do you remember what was the scoreline in the reverse fixture? I don't remember.
I think Man United won the game. I don't know the exact score,
Hmm.
but
Yeah. So that's what I was thinking. So if I think Ten Hag can get the better of
it was a 2-1, 2-1 game.
2-1, right? Yeah, perfect. So I think there's a possibility that Ten Hag can do it again, right? And
I
they will
think
definitely do it.
honestly, this is going to be a draw more or less. For Chelsea, it's a matter of pride for them. Lot
Hmm.
is at stake, not to lose to Man United at home.
Hmm.
So it's more important for them. So, but honestly speaking, I think this will be a draw or let's say what happens. It's a equal game. I see another question here. I'm guessing it's start Brennan Johnson or Muniz. I think.
Interesting question.
I mean, like Brennan Johnson. I mean, form wise, he should start. I feel. I think it should be. I don't know if Richarlison is fit enough to play. It should be Son, Richarlison, and Johnson, but we don't know what Ange wants to do. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Fulham are playing away, uh, and Forest have. It's a 6 pointer for Forest basically, or else they'll start to look down. So, hmm, what do you
But
think?
I think I'll go with Muniz. Primarily because I've seen Fulham play a lot of good football now, especially attacking wise. Somehow they've seemed like they're fit in well. Iwobi, Muniz, they're all playing really well together. And he's a goal scorer at the end of the day, right? So Brennan Johnson gets into good scoring opportunities, and I think he almost scored in the last match as well. But at the end of the day, he'll still look to assist more, right? And like you said, minutes are not exactly there. Form wise, I think yes, he's playing really well, but I don't know whether he has Anne's confidence. With Muniz, you have the minutes as well. So I'll go with Muniz for this one.
Okay, so those who are watching on Twitter by any chance on this broadcast, you're not able to chat. You can just tag us in the tweet or somewhere. We'll look at your questions in case, because I think the chat might be disabled on that. Those who are on YouTube, you can drop your messages in the chat. Anyways, I think that's done with fixtures. Let's look at this briefly. Obviously, we had this ticket that's been put out by Dr. Phil, and obviously we see highest odd of clean sheets or odds is with Arsenal followed by Liverpool, Man City, and then Bournemouth. What a surprise! And that's it. I mean, pretty much if you see the amount of goals, it's with Arsenal and Liverpool, and the rest all are pretty much the same followed by Man City. So very clear, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised a bit with the Man City one. Though I do think without Watkins they'll be very very heavy on Villa. But yeah, Liverpool for me looked like the best high scoring match for this week, and followed by Arsenal. Yeah, I think the top three are looking more likely to score. I'm surprised by Chelsea 2.05 to United 1.6. Right, I don't think there are 4-3 or 4 goals in that match. I think it's more like a 1-1 nil-nil or 1-0 kind of a match. Let's see.
Obviously, even we have Spurs at 2 goals, but let's see West Ham Tottenham. It's a London derby, so I think it's either going to be a complete between games. Obviously, you see players kind of bit tired because they have to play consecutive games within a day or two, slight
Yeah,
training
yeah.
sessions and all. So I think one of the games I expect it to be either a goal fest or to be such a boring draw. We'll see which one it turns out to be when we look at Gameweek 32, the next episode. All right then. Fixture picker little bit here, but let's look at Wildcard 31 if you're going to Wildcard.
Yeah.
And right, so this is a draft that I made for my brother's account, and he's currently ranked higher than me a little bit. So he's somewhere around the 200k mark.
Okay,
The
very
only
nice.
issue with him is that his team value is very bad. So this team is around a team value of 101.5 ish. Not great team value, but somehow he's ranked better than me. Other than that, so it's basically based on our discussions. This is the draft we came up with if you're in that price bracket. So obviously I had to pick Henderson and Petrovic for goalkeepers. Not enough funds, but otherwise you could have done Raya and someone else purely because of 37. And Arsenal's defense is much better than any of the other keepers that we have. And I mean, Gabriel Magalhaes is no brainer. Van Hecke, I mean, since he doesn't have a free hit, mind you, so that's one more thing.
Hmm.
So this draft is made in such a way that you'll have close to about, I think on paper it is 13 or 12 doublers.
Hmm.
So Sun will move out in game week 34 to someone like UHDS or something. So it will come up to 13 doublers.
And some
I
money will
think
be
that's
there for you to, I think, upgrade the
yeah.
defense a bit, right?
Yeah. The only thing is, as I said, the defense is kind of bleak, yes, but they'll do the job based on the fixtures that we have.
Yeah, and
And
Gusto, by the way, seems to be training, so he might be fit
yeah,
as well.
yeah. So for now, but this is the team. I mean, like more or less the template team is that goalkeepers you pick whoever you want. Petrov is for 37, unless you get better keeper who plays 37, or you got a bench boost in 37, then you do the pairs. So you can either go for Pickford or Neto or someone instead of Henderson, but it's just price constraint. Can we
Why
have?
why is he wildcarding this week? Why not, 33 or something?
So he did not have Salah, and he had Doherty and a couple of players that got injured. So basically, he wanted to ship his players out, and with no free hit, I mean, 34 would be a bit tough to maneuver unless you wildcard 1 week early. I mean, nice
Yeah,
33 if you were going to
yeah.
do. But it's just to avoid taking hits to get in Salah and to structure your team well.
Hmm.
This was the free hit. It's
Okay.
not a bad week. I mean, when we were around Game Week 25, 26 ish, we were discussing that this Game Week 31 would be the ideal time to free hit. And even I was in that under that impression. And obviously, things just changed, and we need to adapt to this game.
Correct,
So
correct.
that's why I went to 35. But 31 was always a good week, and is always a good week to free hit currently. So if you can get the players that you want for a longer term and you have some rough plan in mind, I think it's best to get it done.
Yeah, yeah. I think especially with his price constraint, it just makes sense because Salah, Son, these prices will keep on going, right? So it's better to get the players in, especially who are moving up. And you have gone for Mateta ahead of Muniz, right?
It's just 34. So if we see, right, Fulham don't have, so Palace have a double in
Hmm.
34.
Hmm.
And basically, Mateta is going to be on the bench itself for the next 2 weeks because Palace's run of games, right, post this week, they have City and Liverpool. So, but
Yes.
City is their bunny team, it's their bogey team. So, we don't know what's going to happen.
Hmm.
But yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, this is pretty much fair enough for that price that we have. But there were other options. I mean, you have Eight Nuri, you have Munoz, you could fit in DS if you had enough cash, Isaac, but that is if you free hit in 34. So he's not going to free hit, obviously doesn't have the free hit, so a little bit different here and there. Pretty much template games that we have. Okay,
So,
then
yeah.
anything you want to add here or if we move on?
No, I think squad wise, this looks balanced, right? If you are going with the Sun Salah Saka draft, then you need to balance it out with a Palmer and a Garnacho. So, therefore, I think forward looks good. Haaland and Solanke now will be template because Watkins is out of picture, right? So, I think third forward is always between Muniz and Mateta. I personally like Muniz now and a 34 transfer to Mateta if required. Right, that's how my thought is currently. But yeah, you can go Mateta now and bench him the next 2 weeks because you have Garnacho plus Palmer playing in anyways, right? So you have created that squad. It's just the defense, how to balance it, and but I think the fixtures can sort of take care of things for you. I mean, defense and goalkeeper look so, you know, dry. I don't know for some reason, right? So there's not a lot you can do. You just need to look at fixtures, take some punts, and hope for the best.
I mean, Dean Anderson is very low owned at the moment, and not a lot of people have him. Because people are just constantly looking at Petrovic and I mean Pickford, Petrovic, Raya,
Hmm.
Onana. I mean, they are the bunch of names. Henderson is owned by just 0.4%. Is again price constrained. It's 4.4, and that's the only thinking. I mean, there are options here and there if you had enough funds, but
Yeah.
at this point you can't do anything more. All right, that is done, and let's look at our teams now. Where is the thing? There you go. So you have your team right up on screen.
Yeah, I mean, I got in Muniz. I had to sell Watkins, so I went the Muniz way, and I upgraded Foden to a Salah. So I had two free transfers. I used it up. I moved Foden to Salah. I decided to keep playing Saka because I had a feeling he'll be fit, and I think he is. So it's Saka Odegaard for me, and Salah and Son, four midfielders. Looks fairly strong midfield. Haaland, Solanke, and Muniz up front. Gabriel Jabani, and I'm hoping Maguire starts. That's a purely a
He
hope.
will.
Let's
Yeah,
so
no.
else it's Kabore off the bench for me. So if you look at the
Now because
bench
I
is
think
dead end.
Varan, we are not sure because Tenag's press conference is after the deadline anyway,
Yeah,
so I'm
yeah.
not sure. So Varan got subbed off, Lindelof got subbed off. I'm not sure what's going to happen. So I think Maguire will play.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if Martinez is if he decides him to play finally now. So he didn't come off the bench last time. So Martinez, Maguire, we might see that
Perfect. Then
alongside
yeah. So the idea
Egoan
for me
Anderson.
is to have nine good players, which I feel is there. Then you have Maguire and Zabani, which I'm hoping start and give me points, right? So it's primarily dead ending my team for the next 1 or 2 weeks, and then I get into a wild card on game week 33 and bench boost in 34, and then start dead ending the bench again. That's the idea.
That makes sense. So you have Odegaard and Saka. So for you, that's a very important game. Luton at home.
Yeah, yeah, I'm hoping they give me points. So Odegaard has given on and off, and Saka has been giving me, so not much problem. And to be honest, it's just a fun team. Looking at my ranks, so I thought, hey, let me just go triple Arsenal, and I did it before our that goal scoring run started. So it was fun because people who didn't have a lot of Arsenal players, and Odegaard gave me good points. I think a couple of weeks, so helped.
And what about a lot of people who can Kai Havertz? I mean,
I think it's a
he's just
good,
priced 7.2.
yeah.
And against City, we did see a bit different from Arteta. We saw Jesus playing on the left with Havertz in the middle and Saka on the
Yeah,
right.
yeah. That
Is
was
this the
primarily
system? Is
no.
just to counter City, like the way the press
So basically, Martinelli was still
not match
recovering,
fit?
right? Yeah, and Trossard is not exactly as good a press guy as Jesus is. I feel it was situational. In my mind, I think Kai goes back to the LCM role and Jesus starts at least for this week. And we won't go with a Rice Jorginho pivot. I think there'll be some changes done this week. Uh, that's in my mind. Jesus as a forward, Kai back to his LCM role, and Martinelli back in the wing. But this depends a bit on Martinelli being fit, or even Trossard on the wing. I think for this match they can do that, right? So that is how I am thinking in this. But I think Kai is a very, very, very genuine punt. I have been thinking about him for a long time, but I just had the money. I went Odegaard and I stayed there. But Kai is a very good punt.
Okay, so this is my team, and I will be taking a hit to get in Salah. Obviously, Watkins and Bailey go out for Salah, and it's a coin toss for me between Wood and Muniz. and I'm not locked in my teams yet. I'm not made the transfers, so it's on Wood. It's Wood versus Muniz, and it's just for this week. But the only problem is I have to bench Cole Palmer, and I'm a bit scared. I don't know what to do.
Uh, so, challenge, you are playing Palmer, but here you are benching Palmer, right? Palmer for Wood. Okay. I might even go Palmer ahead of Wood, primarily because of the penalties, like you're doing it in the challenge, right? Wood is dicey, but Palmer just seems like a guy on. Though on paper, it might be the better decision, right? Given the fact that Leno is Leno, which match he decides to make saves, which match he just doesn't make any saves, right? So you might have one of those matches where everything that Wood puts on the post into the net, it just goes in.
I mean, I don't know. I have to pick between him and Muniz. That's one thing, and I mean, it's just the price difference of point 0.1, and I have exactly 4.8 once I get Salah in. So, I mean, I was like, why not? Let me just get it good because, anyways, 32, 33, just 2 weeks. I need to just kind of play around 34. Anyways, I'm going to free hit and 35. I would wildcard. So, it's just playing complete short term at this point. But, anyways, I think Forest's run of games are not that great, even if I were to look at long term perspective, because if I look at that up, Forest don't have any doubles, but next they play Spurs. But then in 33, they play Wolves and they play, I think, Everton in 34. That's anyways going to be a free hit for me. But I'm not sure. And Fulham, in contrast, play Newcastle and West Ham. So, not sure what to do. Because more or less Palmer is going to play because they play Sheffield next, and so it's a coin toss for me. But
Yeah.
then whether to bench the forward for Palmer, I'm not sure yet. Don't know what to do.
It's a pen thing, right? That's what screws you. Do you guys give many penalties? How's your record been?
It's up to VAR. I'm not sure. I don't know they're going to give any penalties, but you
Uh,
never know, right? It's probably game dependent
Yeah, yeah.
if
I
something
mean,
happens.
yeah. I think Chelsea have got a decent amount of penalties this season, and Palmer taking it has really, skewed the FPL points, in that favor, in their favor, and that's one of the reasons I am a bit more skeptical. But if I see United have considered only three penalties so far, across season, so it's not a huge number. It's bottom five or six, in fact, in terms of penalties considered. So maybe you take that risk, right?
Yeah, but it's a tough risk away. I mean, on any other three, a better Man team, I would have just benched him. But the way both the teams are playing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you never know. Okay, that's something that I need to think. But I would probably stick with this only exactly. I would just go with Wood and just say, you know what, leave it.
Hmm.
Just play a bit different. All right. That is bringing us to the end of
Yeah.
this stream, unless I see something in the chat. Anything else later than that. Mm, those who tuned in on Twitter or were on YouTube or are watching, please do drop us subscribe. Subscribe to this channel, like on the stream, just will help with the YouTube algorithms. And we'll be back. I think we're done, right? Any other closing words?
No, I mean, this was always going to be a short pod because of the short turnaround, but seems like a good week. Hopefully, gives everyone a lot of FPL points. But keep running around. I think the last 7 8 weeks is all about showing up, continuing to make good decisions. Don't not going crazy. Don't take a lot of hits, especially if you are not at wildcarded. Don't take a lot of hits. Keep it simple. Keep playing, and the flags will keep coming green. Right? Just take them and till the end of the season. That's all. Keep your focus on.
Yeah, I think he basically is trying to say is get your A game up now because we are at the business end. and play it week by week. As soon as you reach your chip strategy point, I mean, you need to go all guns blazing.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay, with that, we are done for this stream. We'll be back for Game Week 32. This was how 31, the boring labeled midweek goes. We'll look at 32 and we'll see whether Salah gets the points that everybody is hoping for or someone else destroys their week. Till then, have a great Game Week 31 and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.